Ah, there you are. And you've noticed this. A boot specially designed for someone with big, wide feet. No, obviously this is not the finished product. Although we've got the top half, the bottom half is decidedly important. For no other reason than obviously to keep your toes warm and dry. We need the bottom bit, we need the sole putting on. To do this, we need this. And this is a very big and important part of it. This is the last. Each one of these are shaped perfectly for each and every boot, so the shape is obviously crucial. The two are then mated together. The top half of this is then warmed up. And Franco over here, who is a specialist at his job, although he's using a piece of fancy equipment, he does indeed need to know exactly what he's doing. And he's going to stretch over the top of the last, the top half of the boot, and then it's glued onto the bottom sole. Then his mate Eliseo does the back half of it, because the back half of it obviously is as important as the front half, and that's a skilled job as well. And it finishes the process off bonding the inner sole with the upper part of the boot. And that machine there does just about everything he needs it to do, even makes you a round of toast in the morning.
So we've now got a boot that's roughly in the right shape. Well, it is in the right shape, but roughly, I say roughly, because it's all very rough, these bits sticking up, and you couldn't really stick a sole on there because, well, it just wouldn't stick on. It's horrible. So it's ground down, and Dennis over here, that really is his name, yes, Dennis the Italian, is grinding it flat there, and then it goes onto another machine which has got a very carefully mapped out plan of the sole, and that knows exactly where it needs to be perfectly flat and where it needs to be roughed up to allow the glue, which is ultimately going to stick this sole on, to key in. And there you go. Go on, Dennis, give it some on that machine.
Dennis, how is it I get Franco, which sounds Italian? His name should at least be Deniso, surely. Anyway, Giulietto here, she's doing a sort of a half manual process and a half automated process. She's using the traditional method of applying the glue with a brush, but she also uses another process on a machine, because this part of it is crucial. It's got to be done just right. And in addition to that, the lady behind me here, she's applying glue to the sole. Then that and the boot itself are put back on the conveyor belt, and they travel around the corner for the next bit of the process.
Yes, these are a couple of our Italian fans. Italian, you get it? Oh, never mind. Yes, they do come round the corner, the soles and the boots, both full of glue. These fans are actually cooling them down, and they move along this conveyor belt. Doesn't look like a conveyor belt, does it? It's just a very, very slow moving sort of rack, brings everything round for the different processes. Comes along here to our friend over here. This is Pasquale over here. Pasquale and his oven. And what he does is he puts the soles in the oven, and it's all set, preset temperature. That sort of reactivates the glue, makes it very, very sticky, and then he sticks the sole on to the bottom of the boot by hand. Yes, by hand. Very, very skillful job. Only gets one go at this because the glue sticks as soon as it touches. It's contact adhesive, and it's very, very strong. Only gets one go. It is skillful, and he won't let me or Wayne anywhere near it. It's all pressed together, and then it goes into that big machine over there, which looks like one of them airport things where you put your bags through. It's actually not. It's a fridge, and that cools the glue, stops it reacting, makes it so it's not sticky anymore, comes out the other side. Bob's your uncle.
Bob's your uncle? What's he on about? That was me dad. Never mind. Anyway, so the cooler machine over there, of which I might add, 20 minutes ago I stuck a can of lager on and it still hasn't come out. The boots come out the cooling machine, and then our friend over here, Lean, he happens to take out the last. And then instead of chucking the last in the box, oh no, he then applies another sole to the last. He sticks that on with nails, ready to start the whole process yet again. But the boot comes out, granted, looking like a boot, but the bottom line is there are still some trimmings to go on this. For example, the toe sliders. They've got to be attached to the boot, and there's a slider up here as well. And that's what this lady over here, Flora, does. She then attaches them, in this case with this fancy screwdriver. Now mind your fingers, Twinkle. That's it. Oh, skilled.
So that's just about it. We started off here in this section, as you remember, with something like that. Boot for someone with a very wide foot. And we finish up with a nice pair of boots like this, with all the tags on, all the toe sliders, the sole and everything all stuck together, looking very smart. Bit of quality control here now. I'm going to get in the way if I'm not very careful. They get buffed up, the labels get put on, all the packaging gets put in, and they finish up in the box.
And that's it. The boxed pairs, stacks of them. And would you believe at the beginning of the day, 0 pairs produced, and at the end of the day, near on 400 or 500 pairs can be produced in this factory alone. That's amazing, isn't it? And of course, they then go all over the world. Now, the thing is, there's that many pairs, I'm sure they wouldn't miss the odd pair or two. Now, this is my size, but I'm not honestly sure what size Paul is. Anyway, who gives a hoot? Let him get his own. I'm going for a ride on a gondola.